How are you feeling? John Riggs here with the 30 Years of Game Boy, the Video Game History Foundation presenting this at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and there is so much more happening inside this museum that they have at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. But we'll start with Game Boy. You see Tetris there. I see the Tetris VHS. There's some little kind of Tetris puzzles. There's a word for those little Tetris-style puzzles, and that's where it all began. That's where it all started. Just doing those, but when they clear a line, when they're full, it goes from there. Here's some cool Game Boy shirts from back in the day, some Game Boy signs. That's what's cool about this museum. Yeah, they made a sewing machine where the cartridge fits into a Game Boy, and that's how you can kind of choose your thing. Even the pocket sonar. Playing your Game Boy while fishing. Yeah, why not? And there's a lot of other things on here, too, that I may have skipped over. And if I missed out on anything, make sure you sound out in the comments. In fact, I might just be watching it myself. Like the little keyboard for the Game Boy. I love the art pieces. Love the advertising, kind of like one sheets. Got the Work Boy. Okay. So we moved on to the Play Out Loud series. It was the first time I ever heard of anybody collecting systems, like more than one. It's like you only need one to play it, but you have the multiple colors. You gotta get one of each. Then moved on to the Super Game Boy. I played most of my Game Boy games on the Super Game Boy, but I did have a Game Boy. It wasn't until the Game Boy Color came out that removed some of that ghosting that made it so it was easier for me to play Game Boy games. Run too fast, it starts getting blurry. Got the Pokemon series. Here's some classic Pokemon stuff. Isn't that neat? And then more Pokemon stuff. It all started on the Game Boy. So celebrating 30 years of Game Boy with Pokemon and those Burger King toys. I think that's what those were. We have some other accessories here like the printer, the camera. We have the launch stuff, like when the Game Boy first came out. Those were the games that were available at the time. Tetris was the back end. There's some other Game Boy-like things like the Microvision, the Supervision, and then even onto other handhelds, Game Gear, Lynx. I'm gonna show this off here too. Big thanks to Chris Vanner. The entire Game Boy set, and you can look underneath there too. I mean, you're like, that's it? Well, there's two cases that are like this. Some of the ones are highlighted and featured, and then there's like, kind of spread out around the perimeter. And then underneath those triangles, underneath that little pyramid, you can see more games shoved in there too. So there's quite a few Game Boy games. Some more Game Boy variations, including the Game Boy Pocket. And then even some custom modded Game Boys with backlighting and all that too. A couple of prototypes on the side. Love how those prototypes look. Isn't that cool? Here's the photo booth. Hi, that's me. For a donation to the Video Game History Foundation, you could have taken your photo with the Game Boy thing and printed it off. So you have like a Game Boy, printed photo. Thought that was interesting. Also in the museum, we have the history of PRGE. This is the history of the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Started back in the late 90s as other little fan meetups and groups and get-togethers. And see a nice, the golden Atari trophy, I suppose. The Northwest Classic Gamers Enthusiasts shirts and stuff. These are cool. Stephen Reese, this is from his personal collection. He has 5 Nintendo staff jackets. And then other like reference guides, desk guides. These are things straight from the employees of Nintendo from, during its heyday. Love that Metroid Express shirt. There's some cartridges from the library that you could check out. Trophies and more. Work there for 10 years, you get that. Then the 20-year trophy. Get kind of like a bronze in Mario. That's so cool. And then this here, this is the desk. Like, if you were an employee, this is a replica of what the desk would look like, your workstation. You got a TV, you got some games set up. I mean, you're playing games for work, but then you also have these guides. And, this is before the internet. So, like hand-drawn maps, that was kind of printed off for everyone else. Or maybe they're drawn with CAD or something like that. I mean, that's a very cool-looking workstation. All right. Some other cool features here on the Video Game History Foundation table. Available for purchase. Some other cool items here. Some alternate boxes. And then Outback Joey. There's 2 copies of Outback Joey in there. Outback Joey, the most rare Sega Genesis game. It won't work unless everything's plugged in, though. And this here is every Sega Genesis game. All featured, all showcased. I just love the look of the Sega Genesis boxes and everything. Shall we check this collection out? I say we shall. Oh my goodness. All of them. Let's do it. There's Exile, a personal favorite of mine. I remember playing Fantasia quite a bit. Big one right there, Crusader Ascenti. Such a great game. Interesting to see the Crew Ball and Crystal Pony are sandwiching Crusader Ascenti. And on the back, you have the backs of the boxes. You can find out more about, screenshots, what the game's about. We didn't have videos we could just look up on our phone really quick. Just had to make a decision based on what you saw. See anything else in there that you used to play all the time? I see Quackshot. That's kind of a fun one. All the Mortal Kombat games. I played a whole lot of Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis. They're doing some filming there. I don't want to bother them. Skitchin. Skitchin was a great game, too. Sword of Vermilion, one of my probably top 5 favorite video games of all time. Love Sword of Vermilion. It plays pretty slow now, but when it first came out, man, I was all about it. Then to close off the list, the wrestling games, of course. Glad to love those. And the alternate boxes as well. A huge thank you to the Video Game History Foundation. Make sure you make your donations today. Big thanks to Chris Fanner, John Hancock, Stephen Reese, and everybody who donated as part of this collection as well to show off for the Portland Retro Gaming Expo 2019. What a fun event and what a great museum. The museum's quickly become my favorite feature of the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and I hope we can make it next year.